I was just watching a man coming out of, I'm coming out of tennis, and he's coming out of the nice hotel that my tennis is in. And he's holding the hand of his girlfriend. And that's really, really important today. Because what we're seeing is a spiritual war. And the spirits that are inhabiting unhealthy bodies. And there's reasons for that we're not taught. We're sort of frequency or broadcast antennas. And the more unhealthy we are, the lower our vibration. And then just like a radio station, when you're in your car, there's, say, 30 radio stations you can tune into and hear. And when you set your radio to the particular frequency you want it to vibrate at, and that's what, when you dial in your radio to 10.9 or 105.3, you're actually changing the frequency of that radio instrument. And then when you match the frequency of the radio to the frequency of the radio signal, that's what you hear. Now, as Nikola Tesla said, everything's vibration. And when you eat like shit and you think food's supposed to be fun and food's supposed to entertain you, you drop your frequency and vibration into the lower realms. And that's going to be a big problem for you, because what you're sort of tuning into there, and not sort of, what you are tuning into there is what biblical scripture and many ancient books would sort of call demonic frequencies. And then you're going to pick that up. That's what you're going to hear on a cellular level, and that's what you're going to act out. So we're dealing with basically frequencies that have always been here, always be on the radio spectrum. These frequencies are very smart. They're going to get into a couple fearful and nutritionally void humans, and then they're going to sort of occupy those humans to start poisoning everybody else, so that the frequency other people are picking up is devilish, dark, and rotting. So again, back to this man who's holding his girlfriend's hand. That's very important, because that increases higher frequency, love energy. And if there's something that this devilish, demonic, rotting, and evil frequency doesn't like and can't sort of make a host out of, is anybody with a higher frequency. This is also why health is the most important weapon today that you could ever possibly imagine against the dark forces that are trying to take over this world, is that if everybody's tuning in to these shit demonic frequencies because they're using their mouth as a garbage compactor, they're going to have a hard time even remembering or having a point of reference regarding what morality and ethics are. So again, it's very important that that man be holding his girlfriend's hand. And don't forget, that's another thing these demons know, is that if you go to a hardware store and go buy any battery, a car battery or a battery for your flashlight, you will see that there's a negative and a positive end. And the positive end is the male and the negative end is the female. And that creates a circuit, that creates life, that creates flow. And all demonic frequencies hate is flow and life. If you notice everything that's going on today, it's anti-life, anti-God, anti-family, anti-children, anti-reproduction, anti-anything that has to do with maintaining health, happiness, and vitality on this planet. So never underestimate the power to push back on these dark forces by basically doing simple things, growing food. These demonic frequencies don't like when you grow food, because that's life. You can't have life without a closed circuit between male forces and female forces. Have you noticed this group that occupies weak and nutritionally void humans and drugged out humans, have you noticed they want everything sort of genderless and sexless or one gender? They don't want the circus because they don't want light. All demonic entities, sorry about that, all demonic entities basically don't like anything that's alive. And when you're possessed by one of these, you will, oddly enough, have a real hard time. You'll look like yourself, you'll talk like yourself, but you'll keep plowing your mouth with poison, because basically this death-centric frequency will sort of vibrate out onto others. So you, if you're vibrating at this demonic radio station, 666.66 on the FM dial, if you're vibrating on that, basically any radio tower, the signal is strongest at the tower, which is you. So what looks like sometimes classic self-sabotage is just, yeah, sure, it's all neurological at times, but is there more to it than that? Are you hating yourself because you've lowered your vibration and you're getting tricked, and you're eating Doritos and beer and coffee and junk food, and you're taking 10, 20, 30 years off your own life, and then you go to the hospital when you're sick where there's nothing there that can make you healthy, and you love it and you can't stop going. You know your doctor never made you healthy. You know, every time you go, you get more sick. You know, every medication you take, you get more sick. But you keep walking there and insisting and dancing in this, this waltz of futility with a man or a woman in a white butcher coat. And you're so programmed or so spiritually occupied that you don't even notice that the person can't make you healthy. You don't even notice they're wearing a white butcher coat. The same butcher coat that the butcher uses down at the grocery store, the one that slaughters animals and gets the blood all over his coat. People don't even notice that. The people that take the most injections, they're the most sick. And it comes as a cluster, right? All these ideas come as a cluster, or do they? Or are we being spiritually occupied because we got tricked to believe poison is food, and it's allowed some kind of radio station to interface with our DNA and make us extremely ill and death-centric ourselves, starting with ourselves, destroying ourselves and euthanizing ourselves at will anytime we want. So hopefully that makes some sense. This is Jason Christoff signing off. Thanks for listening.